Hey everybody, Kat here. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're having a great day. It is Saturday morning and you're in for a bit of a treat. If you follow Harry and Meghan, you know all about Markus Anderson. You know that he always seems to pop up. What's his purpose? Are he and Meghan a thing? Why does Markus always tend to be around? Well, I'll tell you. What we do know about Markus is that he is the global membership director for Soho House. He started out as a waiter for the brand in England. Founder Nick Jones hired him. As a teenager, he was born in Peterborough, Ontario. Small town, about 90 miles outside of Toronto here. Not a whole lot is known about his childhood. I mean, the different interviews he's done and things like that are somewhat circumspect. He doesn't give out a lot of information. We do know, now depending on, again, what publication you get your information from, he went to London, England at the age of either 18 or 19, just out of high school, basically. Which is kind of odd, because a Central Ontario boy, you'd think the first place he would go is come to the city, come to Toronto. Just an hour and a half away, the biggest city in the country. He doesn't have to go halfway across the world to London, England to find a city, but he does. And through the course of time, he works his way up on the ladder of Soho House to become the global membership director. He knows all the people. He knows all the secrets. Now Markus, what we do know, he was born in Peterborough, Ontario, to a single mother. Somewhere in 78, 79, again, depending on where you get your information, his dates are a little bit confusing, and that might be on purpose. It's hard to pin down. Now, Peterborough at the time was a relatively small town / city in central Ontario. Now, the online articles say he left for England 18, 19, ran into Nick Jones, and the rest is history. Now let's go back to 1977. In 1977, teenage Prince Andrew was sent to Peterborough, Ontario to attend Lakefield College prep school. The Queen had sent Charles to the Treetop School in Australia 1 year, I think before he went to Cambridge. It was a practice that she kind of did to give a nod to her Commonwealth by sending the princes abroad for part of their education. And now from what you hear, and this is the information that you're never going to get anywhere else. Yeah, it's scuttlebutt, rumor, gossip. But from people in the area, from what you hear in parts of Ontario, people who were in the know at the time, it was here that Andrew earned the nickname Randy Andy. It wasn't in the Navy. He already had a reputation as a partier and a ladies' man, so to speak, as a teenager. Incidentally, did you know Andrew only lasted one term at Lakefield? And he was scuttled back to England. Now, local rumor has it from people around at the time is what happened is he compromised a local girl. Hold on to your hats. Markus Anderson is rumored to be the result of that. Andrew's son. Anderson. So if this is true, we have a young Markus moves to London to embark on his adult life. It'd make more sense to move to Toronto, but what if? Maybe he what if he knew? What if he was told? I mean, in a case like that, and we know there have been other illegitimate royals down the line through history, so it's not like it would be anything new. And of course, the royal family would know. Marcus's mother was probably paid off or given, a suitable amount of money to raise the kid and keep her mouth shut. That's why not a lot is known about him. So Markus, growing up, becoming a young adult, perhaps learning his history, heads to London, England to try to figure it all out. Be close. Try to get close. Now, if that's the case, you can kind of understand his sojourn to England right after he graduates high school. And now Nick Jones, founder of Soho, hired him as a dishwasher slash waiter. He worked his way up. Hard work, building trust, building relationships. Markus now holds the position of global membership director of Soho House. Now, Soho House, it's a private members club frequented by elites, celebrities, and even royals. Now, people like Ron Burkle, Harvey Weinstein were investors in Soho. At the same time, business partners with the likes of Jeffrey Epstein. It's all connected, folks. Now, I can't say this for a fact, but from the research that I've done, Soho is the kind of place that, for enough money, and if you know what to ask for, you know who to ask, you can pretty much get whatever you want. If you know what to ask for, you can access the so-called off-menu services that Soho House provides. This is where Meghan Markle comes in. Her first association with Soho House was back in 2010 in Los Angeles. Now, and we know, and rumor has it, it's almost been confirmed, that as an aspiring actress around that time, Meghan was operating as a yacht girl. And that she had come into contact with Andrew along the way. 2011, Meghan moves to Toronto to star in Suits. Well, not star, 8th on the call list. 120 minutes in 7 years. She didn't really star. Well, now Markus at the time. Keep in mind, he's been working for Soho overseas. Well, he was brought into Toronto in 2012 to launch Soho House Toronto. Now, Meghan was brought in, directed. Don't forget, she already had some of these contacts. She was to use Soho as her springboard to meet elites. And she also allowed herself to be hired out. That off-menu selection stuff. A friend of Harry's that had bought her services at Soho prior to his hooking up with her said about Meghan, quote, "She'll do anything." So it's no accident Markus and Meghan came together. She was put into that path, directed into his control. He became her handler. He knew of her interaction with Andrew. He knew Andrew's associations, Epstein, Nygaard, and the like. Now, I've maintained all along that Meghan had been a control from very early on. She's a cutout. Nothing about her is real. I've maintained there's a wider plot to damage the royal family, to weaken it. Andrew, honeypots, financial scandals, Epstein, and now Meghan. Her hold on Harry. Her gaslighting. What she knows about Andrew and the yacht stuff. Does she know Marcus's secret? Everybody maintains they're very close. She calls him her best friend. There's been rumors of an affair. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Markus would share his secret with her. It's probably too volatile to let her in on it. Just her past with Andrew is enough to put in his face, to keep him quiet. Now, would Andrew understand the connection? I'm sure that if I'm right, Marcus's life was handled and directed in much the same way. Soft influence. I'm sure there was money involved. The Queen, of course, she would have known. Charles and William now, I'm sure they know. Does Andrew know? He might. He might now, but at a time I don't think he did when he was younger. I don't think he knew. Because all of it was taken care of under the rug kind of a thing. He might know now. He might know now. But I mean, if I'm right, Andrew got a young girl pregnant, was whisked back to England. Markus grew up and headed to London as a teen. He would have been tracked. He would have been kept tabs on. And this is the thing. This is the tricky part. Because this is why the royal family is really in a bind. Marcus can pretty much operate pretty freely within the context of popping up with Meghan and Harry and stuff like this. The royal family would know about him, but here's the thing, now with the Queen gone, and we know Charles probably knows, probably understands this, and knows about Marcus, and that's a lot of balls to juggle. Pull one loose thread of that sweater. Release the information they've got on Meghan. That implicates Andrew even further, because his name will pop up in terms of those yacht girl things and other. Then Soho and Marcus, and all of it will come out, and this is why it's overwhelming Charles. He knows if he tries to correct one thing, it's like a house of cards. You know? Now, Harry, I think Harry's impervious to all of this. I don't think he knows about Meghan's past, her dalliances with Andrew, the Marcus Association. Harry's been kept in the dark about everything. I mean, he too is being used by the cabal, and Meghan, and Marcus. You know? Now, here's something, because over the years, a lot of people have wondered why Marcus is around. Now, some people have suggested he and Meghan had, or are still having, an affair. Meghan has described him as her best friend. Though not confirmed, I have heard that Marcus goes both ways. To be honest, I've heard that Harry does too, and there might just be some incriminating evidence putting Marcus and Harry together, just another way to keep him quiet. Blackmail. Keeping Harry in line. Now, this is why it's just so difficult for the royal family to deal with Meghan and Harry. Because we know the level of intelligence the royal family gets. The best of any government. They know everything. Never kid yourself. They know what's going on. You know? And so what do they try to put her in her place? She can pull the plug on a lot of secrets that could hugely impact the royals in a negative way. All they can, best thing to do is just to try to keep all of this under wraps, which, you know, Harry's past, for example, that's been hidden, a lot of it. Andrew's past, his association with Meghan, that exposes a wider network that's worldwide. With Markus Anderson, Andrew's son, right in the middle of it all. Who's your daddy, Marcus? Have a great day, everybody. Like, subscribe, leave me a comment. We'll see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.